The mission of Africa Economic Research Consortium is geared towards strengthening local capacity for conducting independent, rigorous inquiry into impactful opportunities pertinent to the management of African economies.
We have always, as a continent, relied on other people studying our area. And that's why for a very long time, you hear that there's somebody sitting somewhere referring to themselves as African experts. The African experts actually sit in Africa, courtesy of AERC. So we are able to understand from the ground where the pain points are, investigate, provide evidence that can be used, and then attracting researchers around that area. And that's what you can call thought leadership.
The idea is not just to come up with the research and publish, but that will inform policy.
For over 35 years, AERC, through its robust networks, has conducted comprehensive research that has helped develop sound and impactful policies across Africa.
By participating, you actually get to the forefront of where is the policy debate, even at the global level. Like now, when I look at the people I started with in very early 90s, including Professor Njuguna, who is now the CS National Treasury, you feel that actually there is a very good trajectory in the future. It motivates you to say, if you still continue with the momentum, there is somewhere you can go.
African Economic Research Consortium is very, very important in terms of capacity building, but also producing a cycle of well-trained economists who are going to support the policy-making processes in Africa. We want to make sure that this is alive. You can see it's the whole of Africa. The whole of Sub-Saharan Africa is represented.
AERC's networking and collaboration model has been a key strategic instrument for implementing its activities by linking individuals and institutions into a knowledge-sharing and experience-sharing framework.
Two people who didn't know each other beforehand will get together and write a paper together. Or somebody who didn't know something about Africa will get to know about Africa and do research on Africa. Maybe some of the younger people will come up with some new theories, new insights, which will help in policy making. So the expectations are that the academics will get together, they'll do good work, new work, better work, policy work.
Today, AERC has evolved into a development think net in Africa for Africa. This has been achieved by enhancing the capacity of an inclusive pool of African researchers to conduct policy-relevant economic inquiry in Africa.
I started with them in 2018, where we went in South Africa for a program on governance and land economics. It was very beneficial for me. I am working with smallholders farmers on the questions of climate change adaptation. We know climate change exists, but the problem is the way forward. One of the things that I learned from the training with AERC, it has been beneficial for me to better explain them the realities of climate change on the field and the impact that they don't even know about climate change that can happen if they don't adapt to the climate change issues.
Now being in the policy making, I am an ambassador, and I try to contribute, to the budget and to the policy making in my country. And I have this opportunity of commenting and giving my ideas on economic policy making. And I think it's a very opportune moment for me in order to disseminate, that rigorous research and try to see how to convert them into policy making.
Now I'm doing policy analysis in our agriculture sector. I've learned and now I'm giving back for the very first time. The feeling is you can't put money to it. It's just you feel so proud of yourself. You feel so confident. At the same time, you're building your skills, but also you're giving back.
Through those programs, we hope that countries, particularly African countries, can transform their economies to higher skill economies, which can provide incentives throughout the whole economy for human capital formation.
So with such a fora which is supporting evidence-based policymaking through rigorous research, we believe this will somehow be a solution, not only in the short term, but also in the medium to long term.
Driven by purpose and better quality of life, AERC has gradually been scaling up capacity building for policy influence and evidence-based development outcomes across the African continent.
If you want to talk about pan-Africanism, AERC speaks pan-Africanism. It will be very difficult for you to go to any country and go to either Ministry of Finance or a central bank without meeting somebody who has a connection to AERC.
What is good here is, you've got 40 countries, represented and so many policymakers here. I think it's a good platform for me and for others to meet and discuss our experiences. So you can see the importance, of investing in human capital in Mauritius. And this has contributed to economic growth. That's why Mauritius is doing very well.
The future goals of AERC are to contribute and enhance to greater economic stability as well as sustainable growth in African economies. AERC invites you to be part of this exciting future and new outcomes on the African continent. African Economic Research Consortium, bringing rigor and evidence to economic policy making in Africa.